The difference between the version of you that is broke and the version of you that's booked and busy is your mindset. Let's talk about it. I'm sure you have said this to yourself before. I just want to make enough to be comfortable. I am not trying to be super rich. I am not trying to be famous. I just want to make enough money to pay my bills and occasionally buy myself something nice. Go on a vacation. You just want to make enough money to live a comfortable life, right? And who can blame you? Like, don't we all just want to live comfortably and not have to live paycheck to paycheck? But what if that is the problem? You've been taught to survive instead of thrive. So, where does our mindset conditioning start? Well, of course, it starts from childhood. Maybe you grew up in a working class household. Maybe you learned how to equate money with struggle. Maybe there weren't conversations in your household surrounding money and how to make it, how to acquire it, how to be good at managing it. Maybe you didn't have those conversations. First gen or immigrant kids are going to struggle with this concept the most because you're just told to be grateful, right? Especially children of immigrants. Your parents probably told you all the time, like, I came to this country for you. I've already sacrificed a lot. So we're not really taught to have a healthy relationship in our brains with money and monetary gain. We just aren't in this country. Unfortunately, when you're working class, you're taught to kind of just, as a kid, sit down and shut up. Don't ask me for nothing in the store. Don't ask me for nothing on the way home. There's food at the house. That's like the type of mentality that we grew up with, and it's totally, completely understandable. It's not our parents' fault. That's just the way things were. But you're not dumb or lazy. You're just conditioned. And the key to breaking out of that conditioning is to shift your mindset. And it's not an easy thing to do. This is literally, we're talking about rewiring things that you were taught during your very, very, very formative years of your life. So, how does shifting your mindset change your output? Once I stopped seeing wealth as for other people, I started asking more questions. And a lot of the conversations around wealth and money and all that stuff growing up, even in college, were also conversations around race. And so, I thought for a long time I would just not be able to make crazy amounts of money because I wasn't white. And it just wasn't in my destiny, which is not true. I'm here to tell you right now, we're going to break that stigma. That's just simply not true. And it's nonsensical to think about and talk about, but it is necessary to have conversations about socioeconomic class status while also talking about race, because we can't neglect the fact that the two are very, very, very closely linked. But that doesn't mean that just because you grew up one race or another, your destiny and your fate is already, sealed, signed, and delivered. Once I stopped seeing that, having that mindset of wealth is for other people, I started asking for more. I'm like, damn, people are out here charging a lot of money for certain things. Why can't I also charge a lot of money for those said things? And when I went into marketing and planning out the pricing for our business, for example, here in Central Florida, and I learned about evaluating the market and our competition and all that stuff, like market research, I was like, dang, there's people who are out here charging a lot of money, who have valued their service at a very high dollar amount, because they know what they're worth, and they know that if people see their work and think that they're worthy, then they're going to pay that money. So I stopped thinking about framing my prices and charging people like nice girl prices, and I stopped waiting for the permission to know my worth when it comes to the value of my business, my freelance work, etc., etc. So when I invest time into learning a high value skill that I did on my own, that I took the initiative to do, like marketing, branding, content strategy, and I know what I'm good at and what I'm capable of, and I'm being authentic, upfront, and wholly truthful about what I can offer to a client, there's no way that anybody's going to make me feel guilty about the prices that I charge for my services, right? So once I was able to kind of flip the narrative on that mindset, I started to feel empowered. I started to feel like, hell yeah, those are my prices, you know? And if somebody can't afford it, like, I'm not here to negotiate. It's just my prices are my prices, and I have to make a living. So there are very clear ways that you can change your output when it comes to entrepreneurship, when it comes to freelancing, that will start to shift the narrative for you in your life from, I just want to live comfortable, to, I can make as much money as I am willing to put the work in to make. And as long as I hone in on my skills and continue to develop and continue to be the best at what I do, better than anyone that I know, there's no reason why the money will not come to me. It's just going to flow. Because you are really good at something, you're providing a really great value for it. And so as long as you're living in your truth and being authentic about what you can provide and offer, the money will flow to you. And it's going to feel so much easier. It's going to feel so much easier when you are offering your authentic skills, things that you're good at, to these businesses, and they're willing to pay your prices. What are tangible mindset shifts that lead to action? Well, you can start with the conversations that you have up here with yourself. When you go from, I can't afford that, to, how can I make this happen? How can I put this on the list of things that I'm going to do or buy, purchase, or acquire, whatever. Taking the conversation from, I'm not qualified, to, I'm a beginner, but I'm resourceful. I'm scrappy. Going from I'm stuck to I'm building. The answers are always right in front of you. I've learned that now from shifting my mindset to more of an entrepreneurial one. I've learned that the answers typically are always right in front of you. And if they're not right in front of you, they're super, super easy to acquire. They're super easy to find. You just have to look for them in the right places. So you don't need to be lucky. You need to be intentional about the skills that you offer, the skills that you acquire, the education that you give yourself. And if you really are serious about shifting your mindset, it starts every day with the small little conversations that you have up here, and starting to really, really believe in yourself and the skills that you offer, and the value behind what you're doing as a freelancer, as a business owner, as an entrepreneur.